What's going on, everybody? It's Stop Bets. We're checking back in. We got our divisional round on the dot NFL live stream coming at you guys here on another Friday night stream. A little bit different setting, not as hectic as Sunday morning. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Last week, we saw a profitable show. I think we went 4-3 for like plus 0.32 units. So we'll take all the profit we can get. We are now 70-63 for plus 8.49 units on the season. Once again, strong numbers here. We are going to continue strong. We got the divisional round. We have 8 teams left, and it's going to be a huge, huge weekend of football. As always, this stream is brought to you guys by Occupy Fantasy. Make sure you guys go to occupyfantasy.com. Use my referral link in the description below. The best DFS lineup optimizer in the game, best projections. They have probably the best all-around product when it comes to DFS. NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, and PGA. It's a one-stop shop. Use my referral link below. Let them know I sent you. You will not regret it. All right. So if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. We usually started off with some DFS talk and some strategy talks with some stacks. And then we go into a spread, a total, and a teaser, and then 3 player props and an anytime touchdown, pick to click, and then a 3-leg anytime touchdown parlay. And we are damn due for that. And if you were in the Discord last week, we hit an absolute banger. It was I think it was plus 8,400 we hit. I think $5 turned into like $430. So obviously, if you bet more than that, you were happy with that. So yeah, that was exciting. If you want to join the Discord, hit that link below and get all straight out there. It's a great time. We had a first basket parlay today, and I think we got like 2 of the 4, unfortunately. But we're heating up. It's coming up on that anniversary of that big first basket parlay. So I think I'm going to start diving back into to getting some of those, rekindle the flame, All right. If you guys have any questions along the way, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up on YouTube. If you guys are on Twitch, X, or YouTube, throw a comment in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you guys. If you guys have any player prop questions, throw them in the chat. All right. So this DFS slate is, I think, pretty self-explanatory this week. It is, it's once again kind of like last week. Target the dome games and also target the highest total game. It's very simple here. I'm gonna stack the Bucks Lions game for sure, and then I'm gonna stack the 49ers Green Bay game. You would think we should stack, CJ Stroud, Lamar Jackson. I tend to think that that's going to be a defensive battle in that one. There is some weather issues there with some snow, and then the Chiefs Bills game. Those are always classic shootouts for whatever reason. I think that game is going to be slowed down. So I'm not targeting that as much. Obviously, taking bits and pieces from both of those games, but I'm going to be targeting the Bucks, Lions, 49ers, and Packers game. Preferably, you can stack either one, all 4 of those sides. I'd probably prefer the Lions over the Bucks, but the Bucks are a little bit cheaper stack wise. And then the 49ers, I'd lean the Packers over the 49ers just because of the price differences there. But yeah, I think you get really, really creative with Love, Jones, Dobbs or Reed. Reed's got to bounce back, right? He has to. And then bring it back with Debo, bring it back with Ayuk or Kittle or CMC. Got a lot of pieces. This when it gets to 4 games, you can definitely heavy stack. Go 4 2s, 4 3s. If you want to even go 5 2s or 5 1s, if you think it's just going to be a bloodbath, you can go the Lions game. If it's a bloodbath, you can go Lions 5-1, and then stack the rest of them. So definitely tons of different ways we can go. My favorite quarterback of the week is going to be Jared Goff. My second favorite is going to be Jordan Love, and then I would go Baker from there. Then I'd probably in those 4, I'd probably rank Brock Purdy 4th, which is pretty crazy. But the other matchups are pretty prime. And then I think my favorite running back once again is going to be Aaron Jones, 6,700. He's probably like the 3rd, 4th highest. I see a lot of people are going to be on Singletary. A lot of people are going to be on Pacheco for good reasons. But I'm gonna ride it out with Jones, like I said, with those Packer stacks for sure. Go back to Reed. We have the tight end position is absolutely loaded in this slate. If you want, I think I'm gonna still trust Laporta. You got Laporta, Kelsey, Kittle, Likely, Kincaid, and Otten, Schultz, Tucker Kraft. I mean, all these guys have been playing very, very well as of late. Actually, the worst one I would say is probably Travis Kelce, which is wild. So he's still getting the most ownership. Pick and choose what you want to do there. I'm going to probably use the tight end as a part of my stack in all of mine. So if I had to choose between Tucker Kraft or Luke Musgrave, flip a coin. I'd probably avoid that altogether. But if I had to lean somebody, I would go Tucker Kraft. So all in all, heavy stack. Go with the Bucks, Lions, go 49ers, Green Bay, and let's see some winners on Sunday. All right, so we'll be here for another 10, 15 minutes here as we dissect the rest of the plays here. We will go with the first play of the week, and if you tune into this stream throughout the season, you understand why I like this angle. I probably took them 2 or 3 times throughout the year, which is pretty heavy for a same particular spot between VIP and the streams here. But we're gonna go with the heavy rested Ravens first half -5.5 over on FanDuel. A little bit juicy. I've seen 6.5s out there, but 5.5 has it over on FanDuel. They should come out hot. They should come out well rested. I know it's kind of a bummer that Mark Andrews isn't back, but they will not skip a beat. Lamar is going to shred this zone defense of the Houston Texans. Granted, I think this Texans team is obviously overachieved. They've done a great job. They're just going to meet their match here. They're 9.5 point underdogs. I've seen a lot of money coming in on the Texans here, but I think the overall, I don't think there's going to be a lackadaisical start here for the Ravens. I think it's going to be hot. I think the way they are going to attack that zone defense is Lamar Jackson just shredding them both through the air and running there and scrambling. And then I think this Houston Texans offense has not seen a defense like the Ravens in a while. And they have not seen a quarterback like Lamar in a while. Their recent play hasn't seen. I think the only playoff quarterback that they saw was Joe Flacco, and in the last 10 games. So I just think that there's going to be such a discrepancy here, and kudos to the Texans for a good year. I'm just going to write them. I'm going to write it off on the stream. Be pretty confident here that the Ravens can get it done, especially early on. So Ravens first half -5.5, little juicy -125. But go ahead and take that. It's 6.5 on some other books, and then one of my favorite stacks of the week. We're going to go to that game. Obviously, if we like the stack, we think there's going to be a lot of points in there. So let's go with the Packers 49ers game. Over 50.5 points. You have 2 offenses that are absolutely rolling. I know CMC is a little bit banged up, but that 2-week hiatus from him, or it might have be 3 because I don't think he played the last game either. Probably 2.5. 2.5. But yeah, tons of rest on the 49ers end. And then you have the Packers, who have absolutely just demolished the Cowboys and ruined our teaser last week, which we won't talk about that one. But yeah, the Cowboys got absolutely just demolished. And the Packers, Jordan Love looks phenomenal. And we were on his rush yards last week. Thought he was going to have to be scrambled a little bit more with Parsons. Guy can just read a defense pre-snap, knows where he's going with the football. They're rolling. And I don't think they shy away in this matchup. A lot of people are saying that about the Texans, but I think the Texans are going to meet their match. I think the Packers have a chance here to keep the game close. Pretty wild to say, but I do overall think this is not necessarily a back and forth game, but I think that this can be a close enough game here where it runs the score up. You have both teams are going to try to run. The one thing that scared me the most about the Packers game last week was if Jones got out after it on the run, then they could have extended drives. But even with that nature of the offense that they wanted to bring, they still scored a ton of points on both ends. Their defense gives up a lot of points. So like both offenses to move the football through the air, have a lot more explosive plays here. I just don't think both of them are going to be able to run the football too explosively. And then, you never know if Jones or CMC pops off for a big run, will always help the over here. But I do like points to be scored in this one, over 50.5, along with a good old stack in this game as well. So go ahead, put the over in with some confidence in this one. All righty. And then we will go with our 7-point 3-team teaser. So not much to choose from, obviously, with 4 games. But we're going to go this route. We're going to go Ravens, 49ers, Lions. So I don't really like to go over. You can get even +1 if you'd like for the Lions. I was thinking about teasing the Chiefs up a little bit, just concerned with the ability of the Bills to potentially do it. But I think I'm just going to roll with that spread itself. Ravens, like I said, should roll. 49ers are going to keep it close. Or the Packers are going to keep it close, I think. So teasing it down is good. And then I think the Lions should get it done. But I've seen that line move from there was 7s early on, and then it went down to 6.5, and now they're at 6. So the Bucs are getting a bunch of love. So it's interesting, and I think this number will keep fluctuating between 6, 6.5, and 7. So if you do want to wait and get a pick 'em, you can. But I definitely went across the zero, which I don't like to do, but I think we're gonna have to do this one to cash this. So +130 for 2 units, the good old 7-point teaser here. All right, we got 3 player props, and as always, we always bring up the OccuProp Radar. This is free to use over on OccupyFantasy.com. Make sure you guys go over to that betting tab here, click OccuProp Radar, pulls you up right here, and you can search for any player, team, or game. Pulls up every single prop bet in that game. And we're going to go to the same game that I'm the highest on for the points. And we're going to go to the hottest quarterback in the league right now, it feels like. And we're going to go to his passing touchdowns. And we got Jordan Love over 1.5 passing TDs, -115 over on DraftKings. As you can see, it's juiced to 130, 133, 120, 120. So best line there without the juice is Jordan Love over 1.5 over on DraftKings. So if you've been living under a rock, you haven't seen Jordan Love play football recently. He's been phenomenal. He's hit this in over 9 out of his last 10 games, with 2 of his last 3 games having 3 touchdowns. And digging in a little bit further, I didn't realize he had the second most red zone passing attempts. So when they get down there, they're not looking to run the ball too much with Jones or Dillon, and Dillon's questionable in this game as well. So that goes like their heavy hitter. They throw the ball a ton, and that's what they did with Aaron Rodgers. So it's cool to see now Jordan Love just kind of slotting in. Not saying he's anything like Aaron Rodgers, but he has that ability, and he's shown it. So I like the way that they've been. They throw the ball in the red zone at the highest rate, and with the second most passing attempts, he has the second most passing touchdowns in the league behind Dak Prescott. So give me some Jordan Love. He should be able to do this. And the 49ers defense is very good against the run, not so good against the pass. So I like this angle here. So I know I was on his rushing yards last week. Thought we could get by with that, with the pressure from the Cowboys. Negative game scripts just flipped on us. So it definitely flipped. So I think his rush yards this week are 10.5. But we're going to go with his passing touchdowns over 1.5 for Jordan Love. Alrighty. We're going to go to the Kansas City Buffalo game. And it's one of my favorite player props. VIP actually had it last week, and he missed by 1. He missed by half. But we're going to go back to it this week. We're going to give it out on the show. And at any time a game is very close, especially in the playoff, we're going to go with my boy Josh Allen over 8.5 rush attempts. And let me see if I can get to it. Total rush attempts here over 8.5, minus 125 over on FanDuel, 125 on DK, minus 129 over on Caesar. So a little bit heavy juice. I expect this one to get heavily juiced by the time kickoff happens. So make sure you get this one in after, or just put out your phone and bet on this one currently, because Josh Allen is going to he's hit this in his last 4 games with against the Chiefs, where you got 11, 11, 12, and 10. And they're always in competitive games. But what do the Chiefs do? The Chiefs get after the quarterback heavily. They're always going to have design runs. Don't think you're going to see a 70-plus yard run again. So extended drives, more rushing attempts. I think that's what killed Allen last week was the big rushes. So, and that game was a 10.5 point spread. I should have known better. But this week with the 2.5 point spread, you always tend to see Josh Allen rush more and more as the game gets tighter. You can always take his anytime touchdown as well. So over 5.5 or 8.5 rush attempts. Remember, QB kneel plays always account as rush attempts as well. So you can get either way here. Josh Allen over 8.5. Alrighty, back to the AccuProp radar, and we are going to go back to that Packers game. As you guys can see, it's a little bit of a trend here. Just a game I can't get enough of this week. I love both of those teams. Love both of the offenses and the struggling defenses here. Let's see what I can find. So we're going to go to the tight end position, though. We're going to go to George Kittle. And we're going to go over 22.5 longest reception. So you've seen him play recently. He's been on a tear. And the last game against Washington, I'm not even going to count because he barely played. And it just wasn't a very competitive game. They didn't care too much. So we got 8 out of the last 9. He's hit that for a long reception. And if you saw Ferguson, what he did to this Packers defense last week, you got to think that Shanahan's going to say, "Oh, we have a tight end that can do this, so let's go with George Kittle." And he's caught a 28-yard pass, 34, 66, 24, 11, 32, 44, 35, and 58. Huge plays. They're going to get him in space. And what I like about this particular play, it's also yards after catch as well. So he's one of the best tight ends, if not the best, in yards after catch, where he catches it for a screen play maybe, and he takes it for 20, 30 yards. It's going to be nice. I like this particular play. If you don't want to just do the longest reception, I'm okay with going to his receiving yards as well. Like I said, Ferguson had like close to 100 last week on them. He had 93 and like 3 touchdowns. So I'm good with George Kittle here. A lot of people are going to Brandon Ayuk for good measure. Jair Alexander should be out. I think he's going to be out. But I just think that opens up it all for everybody. So give me some George Kittle here, over 22.5 for his longest reception. And then speak of the devil, I just told you guys that Jake Ferguson scored 3 times against this Packer defense. Granted, I think 2 of them were were in garbage time, But it's been 3 games since George Kittle has gotten the end zone. And we're going to go back to him. George Kittle plus 140 here. I got both of these odds over on FanDuel. I'm going to pull it up on the AccuProp radar one more time. And there's some, actually, it went up to plus 145 right before the stream. So let me pull that up. And this is interesting lines here. So I always talk about the roller coaster effect and how much I like to bet that. You have plus 125 over on MGM. You got plus 100 over on Caesars, plus 110 on DK, plus 145 on FanDuel. So let's go plus 145 here for the stream. And if you've tuned in, I don't have points bet, but if you do, it's plus 150 over there. And the Packers are getting up the third most tight end touchdowns to the tight end position. You have, like I said last week, they're probably going to have a lot of piggyback ride here with the play calling to free up George Kittle in the middle of the field. And you're going to see a lot of George Kittle on Saturday night. Yeah. And so to also take his first touchdown plus 1,000, it's 900, 600, 800, 1,000, and 1,000. So another roller coaster line. Go ahead and take his first touchdown, sprinkle it plus 1,000. And George Kittle plus 140 to my pick to click anytime touchdown play of the week. And then our 3-leg touchdown parlay to finish it up. The Discord will have multiple 4-leg touchdown bets. So try to see if we can cash on back-to-back weeks. So make sure you guys join the Discord to get those. I will probably put out a free one on Twitter, but make sure you guys are on the Discord to do that. We got Catch and Cash. What's up, man? So what's up? Appreciate you tuning in, buddy. All righty. We'll have those golf streams coming up. Me and Teaser. We got the what's next week? I think it's Farmers next week. So yeah, we're excited. We got a bunch of PGA streams on deck. We got I think they're gonna be on Tuesday nights for sure. Moving forward, this one was the Amex is always a little crapshoot, so we just let that one go and just throw out our card from there. But we'll be back with the PGA streams moving forward. All right, the last parlay. So the last anytime touchdown parlay we will do for the show, and we're gonna throw in George Kittle, Chris Godwin, Rashee Rice, plus 1611 for a quarter of a unit here. And like I said, we just told you everything about George Kittle. Chris Godwin should have a plus matchup it's not even in the slot. It's on the right side here. And he should be freed up. They're gonna be targeting Mike Evans. Totally. And I think this is finally a game where Chris Godwin before last week was getting heavily targeted. And for whatever reason, Palmer got a lot, Cade Otton got a lot. I think this week they're going to go back to the Godwin Evans with Godwin getting a little bit more of a plus matchup here. So I'm going with Chris Godwin here. And then I almost went Travis Kelce. I almost did. But the Bills give up like the least amount of tight ends touchdowns to the tight end position. So I'm going to go with Rashee Rice, who has been just heavily targeted in the red zone. Probably one of the highest rates of a wide receiver in the last 5 to 6 games. Has to be. And they're just throwing him pick screens and going in. They're dialing up plays around him in the red zone. No-brainer play here to play Rashee. So that means Pacheco's going for 2 and Kelsey's going for 2. And Rashee gets nothing. But nonetheless, we're going with Rashee. And we got Kittle, Godwin, and Rice plus 1611 for a quarter of a unit. So let's recap real quick. We got Ravens first half minus 5.5. We got the Packers 49ers, my favorite game of the week, over 50.5. We're going to get the VIP teaser. Ravens -2, 49ers 2.5, and the Lions plus 0.5. You can actually get them for plus 0.1 or plus 1 currently if you want to go over 0. I hate to do it, but I'm doing it. And then we got Jordan Love over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Josh Allen over 8.5 rush attempts. George Kittle over 22.5 longest reception, and to score an anytime touchdown plus the first touchdown score. So a lot riding on George Kittle, a lot riding on that Packers 49ers game. I'm okay with it. And then we got Kittle, Godwin, and Rice for the anytime touchdown parlay. And let's hit this one. We got to. We're due. We've had 2 of 3, like 4 straight weeks. So let's hope we get all 3 of them in and cash from there. So appreciate you guys tuning in as always. We'll be back next week for the conference championship round. Don't know. I'll let you guys know if it's Friday night or if it's Saturday. We will go from there. And then after that, it's the Super Bowl. So not that many. We're winding down with the PGA or the NFL streams, but we are back each and every Tuesday, me and Teaser, with the PGA streams. So we'll be back each and every week. So make sure you guys tune in, hit that subscribe button so you guys know when we are going live. And appreciate you guys tuning in. We will see you guys next week, and let's cash some tickets. See you guys.